Chan fans, rejoice, we have a brand new music video. This is for the song Past Die Future that is off the brand new album Bone Bon Bomb. God, that's a hard one to say, but it wouldn't be an Anno title unless it was a little bit on the confusing side. I'm really excited about this because we kind of thought we had all the music videos. I guess in a way it's kind of expected that you're going to get another music video after the album comes out just to make sure that album sales continue. That is part of the normal formula, but we just had so much of this album come out in advance in music video form that it almost seemed counterintuitive to think that a few days after the album release there would be, well, about a week or so after the album release, we would get another music video. And well, it looks from this first frame pretty dramatic. Now, Past Die Future was a very dramatic song. It's an Eyes song originally, which makes this all the more interesting that she's giving it a fresh coat of paint with this music video. It was an Eyes song that was credited to her. So, you know, it seems to be a song that is very much personal to her, but also has this connection with this band. You know, if you don't know, Eyes was like a sort of a noise punk rock band that she was a member with that unfortunately has become inactive as of, I think it was last year. I always lose track of time. It was 2024, yeah, last year. So as a result, or was it this year? Doesn't matter. The thing is that this has got a lot of personal feeling, I think, to it. And of course, if you don't already follow this channel, I did originally hear the audio version of this because of the fact that we did a track-by-track listen through to the album when it first came out. So, and I'd been checking out all the singles as they individually came out. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm coming back to give another listen to the song and see the music video. Now, I've got a little bit of history myself directing music videos. You know, they're super huge, but I've done a bit of music video directing in my time. And so I know, and I've seen a billion of them, so I know what I like. And I'm really hoping that this music video covers a lot of those things that make a truly great music video work. You know, captures the emotion, moves and cuts in a way that works, and also highlights the artist really carrying the feeling of the song. And Anna is a very expressive person. She's got this wonderful thing where she's both got strong introvert energy, and yet she expresses introversion in a very outward and obvious and very clear to understand way. So she's just a wonderful champion for, you know, normal people, I think. So I'm very excited to see what this holds. Obviously I'm going to be enjoying the song, but I'm going to be enjoying it in the context of the video, seeing how the video hopefully elevates the song. She's got some great videos in her past, so fingers crossed. This is about 1 second in by the time I managed to pause it, so I'm going to run it back to the beginning. Oh, there you go. She suddenly looks a bit more sad. Let's get the volume nicely switched up. Check the audio is on my sound card, and let's dive in, have a listen and watch to the video for Past Die Future by Anna. I like the slightly punky cutting. That's nicely done. Oh yeah, we're going straight in with like the really expressive vibe. Wow, that is a nice shot. The visual is much stronger than I expected. I love the way this looks. There is so much in the way of ideas being thrown at this, and it's just, it is really capturing the movement and the feeling of the music so well. It's kind of chaos, but it's such well-organized chaos. Ah, nice callback, nice callback. And that imagery of standing on top of all of the umbrellas out in the rain, kind of unprotected from it all. Oh, that's a nice cut. Wow, this is really well cut. I'm really interested how they handle this ending though. It's a very beautiful ending to this song, and this is like really capturing the chaos. How's it going to capture the grandeur of the end? That's really fucking beautiful. That's so nice. Who the fuck directed this? Sorry, that's really beautiful. I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. I was not expecting it to be that well done. All right, can we give a quick shout out to Kazuki Takahashi? Wow. I need to have a look and see what else Kazuki Takahashi's directed. That was incredibly done. All right, to go over this. A surprising amount goes into a music video. You know, you can do music videos a lot like playing bass or being a rapper. Anyone can kind of do it and make it work, but to do it well is something that is very difficult. And I suspect that with all three of those things, you know, directing music video, being a rapper, or playing bass, I feel like the majority of people wouldn't even notice if you did it well. It's almost like subconsciously they'd be like, that's good, but they wouldn't quite notice. And so when you look like a music video like this, I mean, there's so many ways to just, like, so for example, this uses a ton of different like clever visual techniques, but there are also a lot of videos that just throw a lot of visual techniques at the screen. And they kind of work, but they just kind of keep it looking busy. But that's what they do. They just keep it looking busy, which is cool. Okay, the video's busy. But then you get a video like this, and every little technique is so subtle. It's not like slapping you around the face with some big fucking visual metaphor. I mean, obviously you've got the visual metaphor of the umbrellas, but even that is presented more as like a motion thing. It's like a circular thing. She's on top, the camera's moving around. It's like a stage. It functions outside of the metaphor as just being something that's really cool to look at. But then when you take it in, so many things, like the way that the frame rate slowed down and jittered at certain points to like sort of, you know, give certain frames a little bit of a different feeling, the way that the coloring changed, those quick snaps between like her singing like the wide-eyed intensity she does, and then there's like a little smiling face and things like that. We've seen all of these techniques used before, but each one of them was perfectly placed in line with the beat. The way that the animation was thrown in there as well, there was like little scenes where she would turn and it would cut so seamlessly to the animation. Because I've seen a lot of videos where they have like an animated aspect and a video live action aspect, and both are artistically beautiful, but they just kind of, you always feel like you're switching between them. There's never quite a 100% feeling that the two are married together. It's almost like the two things are happening, you know, just one and then the other, which is cool, but they don't quite have the same fluidity. This, like maybe it was the speed of the video helped as well, but the animated aspects, just the way they sort of flew in and out, and often, you know, the idea that your eye would be looking at Anno in frame, and then just the way that the animated, like the picture would come in, just sort of perfectly in place of where she was a second ago. It just beautifully, everything transitions nicely across. And I think as well, like the lack of anything, you know, all of the elements of the video were very simple. Rain, the umbrellas, everything like that. I mean, even to the bit where she's, I think it was in the second verse, she's just kind of singing for like a large part of it. She's just singing at like a 45-degree angle. And then you can see the rain is clearly sort of like put on as like a post-production effect, which is just slapped on top as a filter. But then it's viewed through a slightly, where was that? It's viewed through a slightly narrow lens. I'm not going to be able to find it now. But it just, yeah, it worked beautifully. So it was kind of like that, but there was a bit where she was singing. Oh, there we go. And you kind of got, oh, maybe it was, it looked like a post filter, but maybe it was actually at the time. No, it was a post filter, okay. But this kind of looks really cool because it's just, it looks, yeah, you move between these frames that are very static, and then the ones atop like the pile of umbrellas where it's moving, and it just flows between them very quickly and easily, because while it's doing this and changing all these things, the references that, shut up, phone. The things that you're actually looking at are consistent. You know, the elements of this video: Anna, rain, umbrellas, dark sky. The elements are simple. There's only a few things that actually appear in this video and the animated thing. But because there's not like a lot of different things happening, there's a lot of, it means that those simple aspects that are in frame, there's a lot that you can do to play with them, but it's not jarring and difficult to follow, because you immediately know that this video only consists of a few very basic objects. And, you know, like I say, rain, dark sky, Anno, umbrellas. Even her clothing is very simple. And this means that the ability to just change constantly the lighting and everything, and because it's changing fluidly between them, it's not giving you too much chance to get too caught on one particular style. It allows it to stay very fluid but without being jarring. And then ultimately the director uses that in the perfect way by saying, okay, simple things but a lot of activity, and now just all of the various things, all of the like visual techniques, like the black and white, the static shots, the moving shots, it's just used to basically feel what's happening in the song. The song's going through an emotional bit, it's going a little bit slow, let's have a bit where it's just like singing in the rain. Oh, the song's speeding up, all right, let's have something dramatic happening on screen. And then you got like the bit where it goes much more thoughtful, and when we get like this, again, I love that callback. I'm assuming the callback to the previous video. Obviously that video was the Nya Nya Noi Oi video was much more sort of bombastic, colourful, crazy and bright and happy, and this is going in a very different direction but still using that again. I'm assuming that was a callback, but I really loved that, you know, doing it in a totally different way. This is all beautifully done. But of course, it starts very simple, just her singing in the rain. Again, beautifully lined up shot, really gorgeously done. And the way it ends, I really like this. The fact that when you go to the ending bit, it sort of reduces down. You get that very much the old style viewfinder look. And so it becomes very personal. But the way I kind of read this last bit, you go from all this big sort of dramatic thing, you know, all of the big, you know, she's performing, you know, lots of flashing light and everything, and, you know, cutting between the animation at that last bit. Then it reduces to just this, and now from seeing this big pile of umbrellas, now we're focused on the very smallest part. Yeah, we've gone from big and loud and, you know, big pile of umbrellas. Now we're just gone quiet again, and we're focusing on the very smallest part of the umbrella. We were looking at all this rain before. Now we're just looking at one single drop and how it's like dancing on the end of that one point. And she's talking about rain. But then we cut to this frame, and, you know, it feels like, again, it's very reduced. We've gone down to that viewfinder lens. We're just looking at her. But this last change, I really love how this is done. So see that little bit there. So at first it reduces it down so it looks like a viewfinder. It all just looks a little bit smaller and a little bit more personal. So why then bring it back up to this sort of wide frame, more grand look? The way it looked to me is it almost looks like you reduce down to looking it through a viewfinder, but then it actually becomes more personal because you're looking at her through a viewfinder, and then you put down the camera and now you're just looking at her normally. And that's kind of the way I read that last transaction. It goes from everything becomes very small scale, quiet, the song's reduced at the end, and then it goes to very personal. Now you're actually just standing right in front of her, just looking at her, in a very normal, there's no effects. I mean, obviously there's a bit of post on it, but there's no effects or anything like that. It just becomes very real again. Kind of how it started, but of course when it starts there's the rain, there's an extra element of darkness, but here at the end it's a bit more sunny, the rain's ended. There's so much detail in this. The direction on this is fucking brilliant. Really, really good. I really love how so many aspects, there's so much going on, and yet there's so few things in it. It's just taking a few simple aspects and beautifully utilizing them to really get the most out of this song. I'm glad I actually waited because this came out yesterday. And I had a big day yesterday. We were recording with a band called Yes And, doing a session for this channel. That video is going to be coming out in a couple of months. And we were doing that. And then I met John Reeves from John Reeves Live, who I've met a couple of times before. We do a couple of things together. Went for sushi and all of that. And it was like a cheapest sushi restaurant in the world, Sushi Row. We did all of that. And I came back and I was kind of tired. And I was starting to get a bit of a headache. And a migraine was building up. And so I wanted to cover this last night when it came out. But I thought I'm just going to leave it until I can really take it in. And I'm so glad I did. Because this video is just this is beautiful. This is really well done. This is just this is exactly what I'm so glad I watched this. This is exactly what I mean about making a video that fucking matches the song. It works with the song. And as I've said so many times, a good video, like a decent video just moves with the song. It's just a visual accompaniment that matches. A really, really good video takes an already great song that can stand on its own, that is fine on its own, and it just knows how to like frame all of the movements, all of the emotions to just express them in that extra medium, the visual, and take it to a different level. The song's fine on its own, but this adds a visual quality that feels like it lives up to the quality of the song. I think this is fucking fantastic. I really liked it. I want to give a massive shout out to the director. I mean, shout out to everyone, obviously, but I mean, director has to get a creative director as well, Sota Ozawa. I don't know how that works here, but Sota Ozawa, maybe that's the person who did the treatment for it. But can we just give a massive shout out at least to these two people, Sota Ozawa and Kazuki Takahashi. Brilliant work. Absolutely loved it. So as always, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. What a lovely shot. For now, ciao, ciao.